Are y'all ready? It's time. Woo! Good evening and welcome to Moments with Mama Sue. I am so excited that you all are here. Ooh, what a blessed day it has been all day long. God has been blessing me. How about you? I'm so excited that you're here. God is amazing, and I truly am excited. Guess what? Happy Black History Month. Happy African American Heritage Month. Whatever way you say it, however you like to celebrate it, happy that to you, because we are so blessed that we get an opportunity to celebrate the culture. Good evening to everybody who's on with us in real time. You guys get busy sharing, like, and share this with everybody so we can have a great big audience. We have an amazing guest on with us tonight, and it's just going to be such a wonderful, positive, uplifting conversation. Hello, Ambassador English Lori, our official greeter, and hello, Trish, and everybody. Janice, it's so good to see you all here. God has been doing some great and awesome things. And I'm always saying he's up to something. God is up to something, and I'm here for it. How about that? I want to shout out to everybody, of course, who's watching in real time. You all be sure and drop your name in the comments thread. And if you've never watched with us, let us know where you're watching from. And for sure, let me know if it's your very first time, because I do like to send something along to the very first time viewers, just a little something, something from Mama Sue to you to let you know I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to make my day. Taking time out of your day to make my day. But I certainly want to send that along. So be sure and let me know if it's your first time. When the show is over, I go back through it and I read all the comments so I'll be able to find it. Hey, Chester. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to digress and get busy hollering and shouting out to everybody at this moment, but I'm just excited that you're here. Listen, I want to say also welcome, and a big shout out to all the WJIL.today listeners that listen every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday to replays of Moments with Mama Sue at 3 a.m., 10 a.m., and 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.wjil.today, Gospel Radio, Roku, and Fire Stick TV. How about that? I am elated that I get the opportunity to spend time with viewers from all over the world. That blesses me beyond what I can even convey. And if you're watching via WJIL.today, just drop me a message in my direct message and let me know how you're enjoying the show and the guests that you've enjoyed, all of that kind of stuff. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. And I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, Pastor Patty Harris, for making that platform available to me so that I will be able to share with all the WJIL.today audience. And then I want to tell you that tomorrow, guess what it is? Tomorrow is the first Tuesday of the month. And you know what that means? I will be on my way to the Southeast Senior Center here in Midland, Texas for the Senior Sing-Along. Oh, y'all, it's the best thing ever. And let me tell you, we're getting ready to have a big Black History Month celebration at the Southeast Center. So for those of you that are in the vicinity, join us. We'd love to have you. Of course, you have to be over the tender age of 50 to come on in, but we'd love to have you. We're singing, and if you can't be with us in person, then just go to my Facebook page at Mama Sue Roseberry, and you can tune in tomorrow around 10:30-ish. Okay, 10:30-ish, and I will go live and you'll get a chance to hear the seniors singing. It's so uplifting. It's so motivating, and I check. And then for everybody that has been wondering, what is Mama Sue up to these days? Well, I got you. I got you. This is what's going on, y'all. Connecting with you is the best part of my day. There's my calendar at present for the month of February, but it almost changes every day because somebody will say, can you come tell a story? Or can you come sing or be part of our Black History Month event? And I absolutely love doing that. So I want you guys to be sure, check out my page so you can see that visual and know where I'm going to be. In fact, on today, which is the 5th, I was at Midland College doing a legacy storytelling class for the Midland College Classics lineup, and it was so great. I'll be back there on Wednesday. In fact, all of this month, I'll be doing that. So you'll see entries on my calendar for the days I'll be at Midland College doing that. It's so much fun. But I also want to put you in mind of the fact that later on this month, there's going to be something phenomenal happening on Basin PBS. Yes, on the 15th of February. I want you to tune in to Basin PBS. You can do that on your television. Yes, you can turn on your TV if you're in the West Texas area. And if not, you can they're going to live stream it on their Facebook page. I'll put more information and a link on my page. But I'm going to be on there singing live on the 15th. And we'll also have a wonderful representation of gospel vocalists throughout the West Texas area that came together and recorded some music for you all to enjoy. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. It's going to be February the 15th at 7 o'clock p.m. And I will have more about that on my Facebook page because I really want you to tune in so you can be a part of that. It's going to be grand and glorious. In addition to all of those things, on the last Saturday of the month, I need you to join us for the Midland Storytelling Festival and Museum of the Southwest collaboration as they present Still We Rise, a Black History Month event. It's going to feature master storyteller Bobby Norfolk, and it will also feature the West Texas chapter of the Gospel Music Workshop of America. Oh, it don't get better than that, y'all. It's going to be at 3 o'clock p.m. on Saturday, February 24th. It's free. Okay? Let me say it again. It's for free. Free. So please plan to join us. We want to pack the museum out. This will be the third annual event, and we have had great response in the past. So be there, be on time, because you know it's a certain size venue, but there's room for you. So please come out and be a part of that. It's going to be electric and so much fun. It's free. And for everybody that says, oh, I would come, but you know the parking, girl, the parking. Okay, they have valet parking. Oh, valet parking. So you guys plan to be a part of that. And it's going to be absolutely wonderful. I can hardly wait. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at some of these events and venues, and we're going to have a grand and glorious time. Well, those are all of the announcements that I have as we kick off tonight's show. But I want you all to stay tuned because we're going to be talking to my very special guest right after this.
It's beyond entertainment. It's an experience. Book Mama Sue Roseberry today.
That is worthy. Woo, yes, he is a great God. And I keep telling y'all that one of the things that lets me know he's so great is because he has created some great people to carry his love and his light forth in this dark world. And one of them is with me tonight. I've seen this young lady from afar. Okay, let me say afar. We have sung together in the National Kojic Choir. And she probably didn't recognize me or know who I was, but I knew who she was. I've seen her face. And then when I saw her a short time ago on Lady Roz's, Rosalind Jones, Living Out Loud broadcast, I said, oh, she has to come and be part of Moments with Mama Sue. She's an author. And she has written an amazing children's book. In fact, a couple of them, we're going to talk all about it. And we're going to talk about the other things that she does. But I want to bring to the screen now and want y'all to love on her, the one, the only one, Franciner Diane Riley. Welcome.
How are you?
I am doing good. Welcome, Diane, to Moments with Mama Sue.
Oh, God bless you, Mama Sue. God bless you. I'm so honored. I'm so honored.
Oh, that is great. Well, now, how was life and the weather today in your neck of the woods?
I'm in South Carolina. You could be cold in the morning and sweating hot by the afternoon. So it depends on what time of the day it is, how the weather is. When we say it's snowing, and I grew up in DC, so when they say it's snow, it's really flurries. When we say it's freezing out by 10 o'clock, it's melted away. So the weather is really good. I can't complain compared to what other people's weathers are. How's your weather?
Oh, our weather here was beautiful today. It was like a spring day. There were people out at HEB with some cargo shorts and flip flops.
Whoa,
Come on. That's
wow.
how warm it was. Now, it wasn't that warm to me, but
Hmm.
they were, really just going there with it. But
My
I tell
goodness.
you what, the weather was beautiful. Well,
But
I'm
I
so
would say
excited.
wintertime is beautiful here.
I'm so excited that you could join me.
I
Let's
am
begin
too.
first by talking about some
Okay.
of the other things that you are involved in, because beyond being an author every day, and let me see if I can get the word right. Let me see if I can make it so that I can say the word right. You are a certified kinesiotherapist.
You said it right. Kinesiotherapist. That's what I am. Yes. For
Okay,
over 30
tell the folk
years.
what that is. What is that?
A kinesiotherapist means an individual who uses muscle and use exercise as a form of therapy. I've been doing that for over 30 years, and most of us, we used to be called corrective therapists, and now it's called kinesiotherapist. And it's mostly done in the VA hospital. What happened is during when the VA hospital was created, you had a lot of veterans who had unique injuries, and you didn't have enough clinicians, enough physical therapists, and that's how we got born. And we focus on things like gait training and how working how somebody walk. I can watch how somebody walk and see what some of the problems or challenges they are. An amputee person, we teach them how to ambulate or how to walk with their legs, their new legs. We even do something called driver's training for the handicap. So we modify the vehicle so the person with a disability can drive the car and maintain their independence. So we do so many things. And we just use exercise as a form of therapy versus modalities. That's the main difference between us and physical therapists.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Because that is a whole lot. And I read in your bio that you've been married for 25 years.
Yes, yes,
25 years. Well, that's a
yes,
success story.
yes. He met me, and 3 weeks after he met me, he proposed to me. Yeah, well, he took me to Virginia to meet my parents and asked my parents for my hand in marriage. And 6 months later, we were married.
Wow.
Yes, and yeah, his name is Frederick. He think he's
Now that's
funny,
kind
so
of almost like love. That's almost like love at first sight.
well, when I met him, what it was is my friend Noella and I were over the single ministry at our church. We were co-chairmen of the single ministry at our church, and he was over the single ministry at his church. And so his pastor, his former pastor, and our pastor were friends, and they were friends and in college, and so they was trying to get the two to do something collectively together. So our church secretary gave him my phone number. We talked on the phone and everything. And I was supposed to meet him at Krispy Kreme Donuts, and I there's a
Come
Krispy Kreme
on.
donut store in
That's
Casey,
real
South
love,
Carolina.
Krispy Kreme. Come
And
on now.
I got the dates mixed up, and I stood him up. And I called him a week later to remind him about our date, and only for him to remind me that I stood him up. And he met me at the church and brought me a dozen of donuts, 2 dozen of donuts. And then the church ate all my donuts. I didn't get one donut. They all ate my donuts. So and so when I met him and he came and sat beside me, I was like, we're gonna be friends. He was Mr. Two way back then. And I was like, nah, it ain't gonna work. And so he told me that he said, I love you. I said, I love you too, my brother. God bless you.
Oh, you had gave him the
The church,
hallelujah, sister
yeah, hallelujah.
hallelujah
God bless you, my
rebuttal.
brother. Yes, God bless you. I love you too. God bless you. Hallelujah. And he was like, that's all right, I can wait. So he drove me to Virginia and asked my father, met my father, and referred and asked my father for my hand in marriage. Yes, he
Wow.
did. The old school way. And so we've been
Oh,
married 25 years now.
ah. Well, and then to that, you've been blessed with some wonderful children.
Yes, I have. I call him my son, and he's my husband's biological son. At 13 is when I met him, but I called him when I met him. I told him I'm going to love you as if I gave birth to you. His name is Tyrell Boges, and I love him to death. I get on his nerve, but I don't care. And so his name is Tyrell, and then I have another son named Frederick Dante Riley. He's 23. And I have a third son named Nathaniel Frederick Riley. So I guess you figure out what my husband's name is, right? And Frederick Dante is a self-taught drummer. He plays the drum at our church. Does real good with music sound. He's very talented. He's just gifted with his hands. Nathaniel, he goes to Coker University. He'll be graduating this year in dance. He started doing dance in the ninth grade, got a scholarship, and he's hoping that he'll be selected to go to a summer intern in Italy for dance. So let's pray that that happens for him. So
Wow.
I have three boys, and I have a granddaughter. Her name is Truth Penelope Wilson, but if you get it twisted, she likes to be called Princess Truth. She's 4 years old, and she conquers the world. And we have a wonderful, quiet cockapoo named Pepper. And Pepper, she's 12 years old. We had to put a bell around her collar because she's so quiet. You don't know she's around the house. When she goes outside, she don't bark. She scrapes on the window to let you know she wants to come in. And when we would have prayer, she circles around and holds each person's paw. She really thinks she's human.
Pepper the human dog.
She's a human dog. If she walks through here, I'll pick her up so you can see her. But
Well, I
she's
wanted
a
to
mess.
talk about all of those things because
Uh-huh.
all of that is kind of wrapped up in the concept of your writing that
Yes.
you have. I am just so excited because children's book authors, I feel like, are the first introduction to a world of wonder.
Wow.
They're the
Wow.
first introduction to a world of wonder because when our children can read, the whole world is theirs
Yeah. Yeah.
if they develop a love for reading. And it's what we share with them, especially the positive images and the positive
Yes.
ideas that come through that make all that. So I brought up all that you were, your background, your work, all of that, just to talk about the fact that you brought to life a beautiful little girl, a
Yes.
beautiful little girl named Lizzie
Hi,
Madison.
Lizzie.
This is the book. I ordered it
Yes.
and got it, and it says The Adventures of Lizzie Madison in Beautiful Me.
Yes.
Beautiful Me. Now, did you always think that you were beautiful?
Oh no. No. I was in the fifth grade and I was sitting in school and a teacher called me out and said, France, in front of the class, Franciner Diane Fuller, that was my maiden name. You're not pretty. You're not ugly. You're pretty ugly. And the whole class laughed and I cried. And I was like, okay, I guess if I'm going to be ugly, I better be smart. So I never saw beauty in me. So I was real good at my schoolwork. I was playing a flute in the fourth grade, and we won contests for flute playing and singing, doing all kinds of things like that. But I never saw the beauty in me. So I was good and successful in my career, but then I made bad choices in relationships because I didn't see anything. I didn't see value in me. So in relationships, I got made bad choices. With anyone that gave me attention, I gravitated to them, and they saw that that desperation in me. And it's because I didn't see the beauty in me. And it was for years I could not look in the mirror and see something beautiful. And now on my Facebook, I do a lot of selfies, and people used to get upset. Why do you do all these selfies? Because I'm celebrating that God delivered me from not seeing ugly but beauty in me, and I refuse to go back in that place again. So I fix myself up, doll myself up, and take all these pictures, and I'm celebrating that part of me no longer a part of me anymore. And and I just don't want to be that person guilty of seeing the of I don't want to be that person guilty of bringing out the negative of someone, but bringing out the best of someone. Because he said that to me, I was in the fifth grade, and here I am, 45 years later, and I still remember that what he said. What if he had said something positive to me? What if he had said, "You are an intelligent person, whatever, whatever," and how much further I could have gone in life, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I never knew why he did that, because I was always a quiet person in school. I was that nerd with the glasses who did, the homework and did. I was a nerd because I loved reading and studying. So I didn't know why he said that and why he picked me out and stuff like that. So I never thought I was beautiful
Oh,
growing up.
that crushes my heart to know that a teacher in primary grades, in elementary school, scarred a child in that way by what they
Hmm.
said, because our words are so powerful.
Yes, it is. It is.
Our
It
words
is.
and our opinions are so powerful, and we have to be so careful how we project that onto other people. And I think that you are absolutely beautiful. I
Oh, thank
do. I
you.
think you're so beautiful. And I'm not the only one, because they shouting it out in the dialogue. I see it. They go, "Oh no, that's
Oh, y'all
awful.
gonna
You're
make me.
beautiful, Francina." That's what
Oh,
Yolanda
thank
said.
you so
And
much. Y'all gonna make me
Patricia is
cry.
saying, "You
Oh,
are
bless you.
beautiful,"
So are
because you
you.
are. And but all of that also had a part in developing the message that you want to share through
Yes.
your literary works. Talk about that a little bit.
Okay. I when I was younger, like I said, I love reading. I used to love reading. Matter of fact, like I said, I grew up in DC, and I went to Refreshing Spring Church of God in Christ. I don't know if you ever heard of that. When
Hmm.
Archie Duhedden was the pastor, and now Bishop Jordan is the pastor now. And I grew up at Refreshing Spring, and then my father, the late Superintendent John C. Fuller, became a pastor in Bowman, South Carolina. So we moved to a little small town in Bowman, South Carolina. So they didn't have too many things, but they had this uh, bus that would come up, and we would get books. You had a limited amount of books and stuff. So my sisters and I, because I'm one of five, we would get so many books that we both like, so we can read the books. I've always loved reading and stuff like that. So I always used to write little short stories. I used to write little stories about different things. And I lost the book that I wrote when I wrote little short stories, and I had lost the desire to write. And my father had passed, my mom passed away first, and then my brother, and then my dad passed away. And I was looking at the news. I cannot remember her name. I want to say her name was Elizabeth, but she was running for president, and she wrote a book called Pinky Swear. And she had talked about how she wanted to empower kids about things and stuff like that. And so I was in my house walking around. I was like, God, I would love to get back to writing again. I mean, I miss writing. And then he dropped in my spirit, Beautiful Me. And I began writing the story, and just writing, 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 just like falling down, writing, writing, writing. I was like, oh my goodness. And so my son Tyrell had called me. He asked me what was I doing, and I was telling him about how I want to get back to writing again. And as I was talking to him, I finished up the story. So I finished up the story and everything, and I was so excited. I told my cousin Daryl. She's like a sister to me. I love that girl, Daryl Middleton. That's a whole nother story. But I called her and I told her about the book that I wrote. And so when I told her about it, we have a cousin named Keisha, and Keisha is an editor. And I would people would tell me they were writing a story, and I would just talk to my cousin, Keisha, and I would give them books and stuff like that. So when I told her about my book, she eventually went ahead and read it. And she was like, "This is a really good book." I was like, "You're my cousin, so you're just being nice to me." So she told me about. I gave her the book, and she looked at it and listened to it. And then she told me that she knew somebody who was a good illustrator. But at this time, I didn't even have a name for this character. I just had the story. And so I talked to the editor, the illustrator named George Franco, who lives in the Philippines. And I shared him my story. And he sent me a picture and said if I liked the picture, then he would make that picture, he would make that character mine to have. I could have the character. I said, okay, let's see what we could do. So he sent it to me. And when I saw the character, I was like, oh my God, that's her. I was like shocked. I was like, that's her. And so I was like, okay, God, I need a name. I need a name that's a common name that everyone knows somebody. And that's when the Lord gave me the name Lizzie. And I was like, okay, now I need a last name. Now there's a gym that I go to called the Madison Fitness Center, and it's a husband and wife business. And they named it after their daughter Madison, who was killed in a car accident at a young age. And so I fell in love with the name Madison. I asked them, could I use her name? Would they be offended by that? And they was like, no. So that's how I got Lizzie Madison. And then the Lord showed me what Lizzie Madison meant, loving me and company, LMC. So that's what came up with the story, loving me and company, LMC. That's how it started.
Ah, that just blesses me on a few different levels because what
Wow.
you are doing is taking legacy forward. Here's this couple who lost their daughter, and she is now memorialized in the hearts of people who would have never, maybe ever gotten to meet her, but her name goes on. That is so sweet. I just get chills thinking about that.
Oh. Yeah, and when we had our book signing, my cousin Daryl, who lives in Georgia, and her husband Clay, they and some other individuals came and helped me set up and do a sign on. And so we gave a picture frame of the book to Charlie and Derek and gave that to them at our sign on, our first initial date of our book. So what I do each series, I'm going to do like a dedication. And when they're ready, I'm going to let them, they can have one of the book series dedicated to their daughter. So it was meant to do it for the second book, but they gave me a little pushback. So I knew that they weren't really ready to do it. But when they're ready to, I'm going to let them do something, a picture of their daughter, and they could do something to commemorate her memory in our book series.
Ah, that is so wonderful. Listen, there are all kind of comments going on in the chat.
Oh,
And so
really?
I need y'all to write down any of the questions that y'all
Yes,
may have
please
for
do.
Franciner, and we'll cover some of those because we will be talking and I'll introduce you to little Lizzie Madison right after this.
Oh,
Advertise with us and let Mama Sue's family know what you've got going on. Email us at msroscbe2 at gmail.com. Oh, yeah. If you just tuned in with us, listen, I have a phenomenal author on board with us for conversation tonight.
oh
It is
wow.
Franciner Diane Riley, and she has written a phenomenal children book and introduced us to a character that I'm just loving. And her name is Lizzie Madison. Franciner,
Hey,
you
Lizzie.
you talked about the illustrator that you connected with. Now, when I saw this, and
Uh-huh.
I told you I had been watching you from afar. You never know
Right,
who's
right.
looking at you or who sees you. But when I
Wow.
saw Lizzie, I thought, ah, That's a cartoon version of you as a little girl.
I've had people tell me that, and I really didn't see that until other people was like, "That looks like a cartoon version of you." I'm like, "That's possible too. It could be a cartoon version of
She
me."
is so adorable. She's so cute. I love her. And the book
Her
is so
gap.
bright and colorful, y'all.
Yeah.
Listen, I did something. I with permission, I told her I was going to share an excerpt, but she's got beautiful color pictures throughout, and it tells a story of Lizzie waking up in the morning and discovering that there are so many beautiful things around her. So I'm going to share. Let me see if I can get to it because I really want you all to see one of the clips that just highlights just how beautiful this illustration is. There it is. There's little Lizzie Madison. Isn't she adorable, y'all? Y'all put that in the chat. Ain't she cute? She is so cute. And then what she says, this is a few pages into the book, and she says, what, Francina? You go ahead and read it for us.
I walked about and saw flowers all around me, different colors, yellow, red, orange, and green. My oh my, these flowers are so beautiful to me.
Ah, and it's just the simplistic viewpoint of a child and looking out at creation and seeing so many beautiful things. But I did not steal the hook because later on in the book, what you reveal is that Lizzie discovers that somebody has to let her in on the fact that she's beautiful too.
Yes,
Talk
yes.
about how you came to that part of the book.
And it was like, as I was writing, like I said, the Lord was giving me the story and reading it. And as he started really revealing these parts of the story, it was like God was speaking to me to remind me, you're beautiful too. And a lot of times in the past, what I used to do is I would give, but it was hard to receive. I didn't mind giving and doing things for people, but it was hard for me to receive. And like when someone would say something nice to me, I would like throw it back at them with something else. It was like I just wasn't comfortable. And I didn't realize it was because of that scar, what someone said to me, that when they said I wasn't beautiful, then so when someone said something positive, I'm like, no, you didn't mean that to me. You meant it for someone else. And so I had to learn to be comfortable to be embraced about being considered beautiful or doing something and be comfortable with it. And it was kind of weird that I didn't realize what I was doing. And I would take and go, and I constantly, I'm talking, my cousin Daryl's gonna get mad at me because I'm constantly talking about her, but she has been, she has this strength about her that I love so much about her that has helped me get out of that shell and pull out of that out. She's just an example of someone who just loved me and has been so instrumental in me in my life, with my husband and God, of course. But one thing that I loved about her is she had this confidence in her that she gives of herself, but she had this confidence in herself that I did not have. And it was because she had someone who told her all her life that she was beautiful. And she spills it out in her kids. She's a teacher and she deals with special needs kids, and she's a teacher. She's a wonderful woman of God who does so many things for people. But she's an illustration that you can be successful and be embracive about what happens, in your life and stuff like that. So that came out as I started writing the story and writing about the character. It all just started coming out about who Lizzie was. And I don't want to give out the special part of it and stuff like that, though. But I realized that what hurt people.
Mm.
So when you're hurt, you deflect hurt. You don't even realize it. you say stuff and you say stuff on the slide, or you throw reflections, or you see a girl who's looking real nice and you don't want to give her prompts. You're trying to find some something wrong with it,
Negative. Hmm.
Yeah, and you throw a little reflect. That's a nice dress, really. I want to wish you how much she's. We just hurt people. But then you have that person who's just always positive and pouring into people, stuff like that, and you got somebody getting mad at them for being nice. So I want Lizzie to be that character that teaches the children at a young age those biblical principles that we grew up with, saying yes, thank you, ma'am, just those biblical foundational principles. Because it just seems like in the media, it's popular to bring somebody down, or popular to deflect somebody, popular just to be rude and stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's like, why? I just don't get it and stuff. So, that's what I'm trying to do with Lizzie.
Well, you are doing that. And what I find so phenomenal about it is that it ministers to children while they are reading it, and it empowers them and builds their self-esteem and makes them think about themselves and see themselves in a positive way. But it also ministers to adults because some of us have some hurt children locked up on the inside, just like
That's
you did.
so true. I've had adults, when the book first came out, I had shared it with a coworker at my job. I work at the VA hospital, and they had did an interview with me on the at my job, and I've had so many individuals, mainly a lot of adults, who shared inner hurts that they had, and how the story opened up things that they didn't realize. Not only women, but I even had men confess about how they didn't see good in themselves, and it it got to the point that it kind of paralyzed them from reaching the full potential that God has planned for their lives. And so that book, it just ministered to them in so many ways that they became attached to Lizzie. And they would ask me questions like, well, what's Lizzie going to be when she grow up? Where's she going to live? And what's her thoughts on this and that and everything? And it was like, wow, it inspired me even more to push forward to bring out even more things about Lizzie. But you're so true about these inner scarrings that we're having, that we don't realize a lot of the things that we do or say is because of things we encounter as children, and we carry it on as we get larger. And I even tell, that's why I'm real careful even with my granddaughter, that I constantly look at her and tell her that I love her and that she's beautiful and that she's smart. And when I go, even when I go places, I try to be guilty of building someone up and looking them in the eye and telling them they're beautiful. And most of the time when I meet people, I say, "Hey, beautiful." And I smile because I want them to see. And it's amazing how I do that to a lot of adults and stuff. And they just lighten up like me. I'm saying, "Yes, beautiful. How are you, beautiful? How are you doing, sweetheart?" Because a lot of times, a lot of people, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're carrying. And that one moment of kindness, that one moment of encouragement can change the whole destiny of their life. And that's what I want Lizzie to be.
Ah, that is so good. Listen, guys, if you are tuned in tonight, I want you to be sure to share this. And I want you to be sure that you get poised and ready to go and find this amazing children's book, The Adventures of Lizzie Madison in Beautiful Me,
Yes.
because Franciner Diane Riley has written it. She did this thing, y'all. She did a thing. She did a thing. And it is absolutely beautiful. And I want to share how to follow you and to be able to get this book. So
Yes.
I'm going to put that up. Y'all follow her. She's on social media, Facebook, Instagram.
Please.
You can
Yes.
find her. And you can get Lizzie Madison in Beautiful Me. It's already out right now. But if you're
Please.
looking at the screen right now, you see that something new is on the horizon. So, Francina, talk about the new book that's getting ready to hit the press right now.
It is fresh off the press. I mean, it's like bam off the press. It is her adventure with her father. You see that?
Uh-huh.
You see what I see. It's her adventure with her father. Her dad decides to take her on an adventure. He wants her to see what he sees through his eyes. And he wants to show her the world in his eyes. He wants to make sure she sees what he sees. And this is book I allow my son to dedicate this book to his daughter, Truth. And I saw this beautiful connection that he has with his daughter, and he calls her his twin. And it's just the way the daughter and the father, it was so beautiful that it inspired me to write this book. Do you see what I see? And this little girl, she loves her daddy. And she reminded me about how much I love my dad, and remind me how my dad was a professor at Howard University. He taught chemistry lab, and he had a BS in chemistry and a master of theology. He later on became a pastor um, at St. Peter's Church of God in Christ, and then his final church was at Faith Temple Church of God in Christ in Hampton, Virginia, until God called him home. And I used to get up early in the morning. My sister and I used to get up early in the morning, try to go during the summer, so we go to school with my dad, and we're his lab, and run down the hallway and scream in the classrooms at Howard University. Sorry, kids. And we used to do little chemical techniques and stuff like that, and chemistry stuff like that, because we just loved our dad, and it gave me a love for science. And it gave me a love for learning and love for experimenting and stuff like that. And so, do you see what I see is her adventure with her dad, and she's going on an adventure to see the things that her dad sees. So excited about it.
Oh, y'all, I got to put the visual back up there because it's available now. You can
Yes,
go ahead and order it. It's not via Amazon. So let me put that up there so you can be able to see it. It is at Dorrance Publishing. So the link is there, bookstore.dorancepublishing.com. And this will be available. You can go back and catch this in replay and watch it again and get it, but be sure and take it. If you need to screenshot it, you can. Let me take this banner off here so y'all can see it really, really clear. Bookstore.dorancepublishing.com. That's where you
yes,
can go and order the next installment of the Lizzie
yes.
Madison series, because this is going to be a whole movement, y'all.
I
Lots
praise
of different
God.
things that Lizzie Madison will be doing. Do you see what I see? Something positive for your
Yes,
children, and especially for our children of color. Something positive for them. If you want her first book, you can get that right today on Amazon. You can click on there and go over there, and Jeff Bezos and them will get it for you and get it to you right away. And if you want the other book, it is $13 because guess how I know? Somebody
how
asked
you
me,
know?
how you know, Mama
How
Sue?
you
How do
know,
you
Mama
know?
Sue?
How do you know that that the book is $13? I know because I already purchased it. I already purchased it. I've ordered it and I cannot wait to get it. I absolutely love this book. I have a little granddaughter who is 4
Oh,
years old, and Aria will be the recipient of the Lizzie Madison
oh,
series. I'm
wonderful.
just excited to share that with her. And we just want to keep you going and thriving
Thank
and writing
you.
and
Thank
doing what
you.
you do. So what is on the horizon for you as far as the Lizzie Madison series? What can we
I'm glad
expect?
you asked. I'm glad you asked. Let me first say that I thank you so much for having me on your show. And the first book was my first attempt to writing my books, and I did it through Amazon. And so Amazon, which I didn't know at the time, is They'll print your books, but they don't push your books. So I started working my second book, and then I got contacted. Dorrance Publishing contacted me, and they said that they saw the book when I had went through the proper channels to get it published and copywritten and what have you, and they wanted me to send them a copy of it. And so when I did send it to them, they were interested in publishing my second book. And so this is my first attempt going through a publishing company that's 100 years old. So I'm just honored that they want to do that. But I've also got two books I've already finished. And the other one is, it's always going to say The Adventure of Lizzie Madison Inn. And it's going to have thank you, yes. It's The Adventure of Lizzie Madison Inn, thank you, yes, and please. And it's the power of the mouth. And it's her mother is teaching her about how you say and what you say and its impactfulness. The other one is The Adventure of Lizzie Madison 1, 2, 3. And she's playing a game. And in the game, she's learning how to be thankful. And it's also going to introduce her other characters, which is going to introduce her two brothers, Dante and Nathaniel, her dog, Pepper, and her best friends, Levi, which is my beautiful godson, and Truth, my granddaughter. And so they're going to be little characters and little things that they're going to do adventures of. Like I want to do adventure of her getting her first, looking for her first dress, adventure of playing games with her friends and treating people. There's one that's been in my spirit, and it's called The Adventure of Lizzie Madison, We're Different But the Same. And it's about how my hands is big, your hands are small, but they do the same thing. So it's about looking at things, how we're different, but we're the same. And about how to have respect for the diversity of us as people and embracing it and stuff. So that's another, that one's been in my spirit to write. I just hadn't sat down to write it yet. And it's been heavy in my spirit. So I know I need to start going on and writing it. But my goal is to eventually build it up where Levi will have his own adventures and his own encounters. Pepper will have her own encounters and her adventures and stuff like that. So it's going to be all kinds, all intertwined with each other. They'll do stuff with Lizzie, and then they'll branch off and do adventures of themselves in connection to Lizzie's. So, because my goal is to get kids excited about book series, get involved and expand their knowledge to go to other books and stuff like that. When I was growing up, I was crazy about Judy Blume, Nancy Jones, Hardy Boys, and it was just the little characters I was in. And I was kind of slow at embracing other books because I became stuck on one book and one character, stuff like that. But I wanted to have a love for reading and a love for looking at different diversity of character writings and style of writing. That way you have a more diversity of a conversation. You become expanding your knowledge while putting symbolism into the story that has biblical principles to it. Because if you notice in the characters of it, you know that he's wearing a ring. And you notice that the mother's wearing a ring. It's just little symbolism. And my son gave me some ideas I didn't even think about. He said, "Ma, what's wrong with putting a little tattoo on the daddy?" I said, okay. So I'm open to a lot of ideas and stuff like that. And it makes me, it's exciting that they'll give me ideas of things that they want in the character and stuff like that. But what excites me the most is when little girls and little boys, they see this character and they see their family. They see a resemblance. They see somebody with a gap. They see somebody with natural hair. They see someone who's happy. They see someone who has a relationship with their parents and stuff like that. So I'm looking to all of those little characteristics and stuff like that, and about just simple things in life. The joy of going with your grandparents to go get ice cream, to spend time with each other. My granddaughter Truth, I think it's so cute that when she comes to church, she runs to the older people and she'll say, "How are you doing? What's your name?" And she looks them in the eye and she's intrigued with the knowledge of knowing different people. And I want us to bring that back, get to know individuals. Because when you start to get to know individuals, you see the beauty that's in them. You're not so quick to judge them. You're more quick to embrace them.
This is absolutely awesome. Oh my goodness. Can you believe it's almost been an hour already?
Wow, that's
The time goes like
wow,
that when
it
you're flying and
does.
having
Oh my
fun.
gosh,
But
I
listen,
am.
I want to say again, please, please, ma'am, and please, sir, go and find Lizzie Madison. Get in touch with that little
Yes,
lady. Go ahead and order it. And you want to start with book one so you can build your collection. So go ahead and get In Beautiful Me and then go ahead and order Do You See What I See? And I have to get a commitment from you, Diane. Will you come back
yes.
and talk about
Oh,
some of your
yes.
other books?
I would be honored to come back. This has been a joy to do this. This is my first interview with I did it with Lady Roz, but to this level of intensity, it was a joy, and I'm excited about it. I've only been a writer not even 2 years, and so I'm excited about what God is doing in this path that He's putting me on. I've been getting a lot of encouragement from my family and my loved ones and friends, and so I'm excited to see what God is going to do with this. And the lesson I'm learning from you, Mama Sue, never know who's watching you. I've been with the choir for Kojix since I was 15. Just sitting in the back, singing in the choir, and just doing things in the ministry, pulling people up. Shout out to my pastor, Bishop Keith Kershaw, and shout out to Lady K. Shout out to my family at Genesis Church of God in Christ. And I would always, I just had a spirit of help, not knowing that people were watching me all this time. I met Lady Roz in Israel when we went to Israel. And she and I connected from that, not knowing at the time that God would bring us to a full circle like this. So I'm just humbly grateful.
Well, it is such an awesome privilege. I thank you for making time to be with us today. Thank you for introducing us to Lizzie and the whole
Yeah.
concept of recognizing that you are beautiful, that
Yes,
God
you are.
created you beautiful. Everything that He created, He said it was
Yes.
everything he
Don't
created, he
forget
said
it.
it was good. So listen, I'm going to take you out, but don't leave the studio because I want to make sure that I
Okay, I
have
won't.
this in the can before we close down. So just wait for me backstage. But for
Okay.
everybody that's tuned in
Okay.
tonight, I want to thank you so much for being with us. I want to thank you for tuning in as you do every single week. I appreciate you being here for Moments with Mama Sue. And you already know connecting with you is the best part of my day. If you're liking what you are seeing, then I invite you to be a part of it. Go to my website. Go to my website, www SueRoseberry.com. I promise you, I'm working as diligently as I can on Mama Sue's Family, which is a subscriber-based platform where we gonna get together to do some things. And I'm working to make sure I get it up because I want us to have our first virtual meet and greet for Valentine's. So I'm working hard on it, getting it going, but make sure you go there so that I have your contact information. If you want to support what I'm doing, you can do that via Cash App at $Sue Roseberry. Anything you want to contribute, I'm glad to receive it. So it will help me do more and better. And then also, if Cash App is not your thing, you say, child, I don't do Cash App. Well, maybe it's Venmo. So there you go. Venmo at Sue-Roseberry-1. And if neither of those make you get a warm fuzzy and you say, child, I don't do none of that digital giving stuff, that's just of the devil. Okay. Well, then you can just send me a check by snail mail at P.O. Box 51422, Midland, Texas 79710. But mostly, I enlist your prayers. Pray for me. that God will be forever glorified, and that I'll be able to continue doing all of the things that we are doing, because there is a lot. But believe you me, I'm trusting Him all the way. And I'm depending on the family, those of you that God has assigned to be a part of what He's giving me creatively. I love you. I appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you on the next Moments with Mama Sue. Woo! Now that's what I call a great show. Woo! We out of here. Moments with Mama Sue. Moments with Mama Sue. Moments. Now we can do it a little better than that. Moments with Mama Sue. Moments with Mama Sue. Moments. Well, all right, come on with it. Moments with Mama Sue. Moments with Mama Sue. Moments. Yeah. Moments with Mama Sue. Moments with Mama Sue. Moments. Wait. Moments with Mama Sue. Moments with Mama Sue. Moments. Moments with Mama Sue. Moments with Mama Sue. Never know what to expect. Hey! Moments with Mama Sue. Moments. Ow! Moments with Mama Sue. Ow! Moments with Mama Sue. Moments. Yeah. Moments with Mama Sue. Can't you? Moments with Mama Sue. Moments. Oh. Well, now we might be done a little bit too much. Moments.